Wrestling has more than one royal family. Acknowledge me. And we
What is up, guys? Welcome back to Wrestling Crossroads. As always, I am one half your dynamic duo, Twisted, alongside Brother Pyro.
What's up, y'all?
And today marks number 100 of podcast episodes.
Hell yeah!
And the start of season 3.
Yes.
And in true Wrestlemania fashion, we also have Hex joining us today.
Hello.
And Desario.
What up?
Now, if I remember correctly, Hex is the one that is starting us off with our night 1 for Mania, so why don't you get us started in our list?
Alright, for the first matchup, we have Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair, and Naomi versus Damage Control. Most of us have voted for Team EST, while Flash has voted Damage Control, and Twisted is undecided.
I am.
So, my love, why are you undecided?
I could see this going a number of ways. Damage Control winning, EST winning, even just the egos that is on Team EST kind of getting bigger than most. And, you never know what's kind of going behind the scenes with Damage Control either. This could be a break for them as well.
Okay.
So, that is my reasoning for my going. Your reasoning for yours?
One, this was a match that was just kind of thrown together as we all have witnessed, but you're not going to have Jade lose her first real match.
Okay.
You've been building and hyping this woman up for the better part of a year or so now. You're not going to throw her in the ring and have her debut just flop altogether.
Okay. Desario, anything you want to say?
I'm pretty much going to piggyback right as Pyro said. I mean, you're not going to have Jade lose on the very first main event match that they're putting her out there in. Plus, this is a great way to sit there and introduce her into the crowd with the way they have it all set up. Even though it was thrown together last minute, you've got the past with Naomi, you got the present with Bianca, and you've got Jade as the future. And it's a really good blending on how to sit there and kind of integrate her into everything.
All right, and then Hex, any reasoning for you and Cauldron?
Cauldron never gives me a reason.
Oh, well.
He's about as baby as I am in this. But for me, it's pretty much the same.
Okay.
Jade is just coming in here, and what a powerful looking group of ladies.
Honestly.
Let me tell you.
Honestly, and a lot of the fans want to see that be a more permanent faction within the women's division, by the way.
I wouldn't mind it.
Oh, I wouldn't mind it either. But a lot of fans are also saying, it feels incomplete, you need one more member. So I'm going to pose the question. If you could add any one member of the women's roster, and you can pick from NXT as well, who would you add?
I personally don't know. The only name that comes to my mind is Kalani Jordan.
Okay.
She's kind of one that's uprising, just like Jade Cargill.
That's exactly where my brain went, was Keelani.
Well, if she wasn't involved with the Pride, I would sit there and go with BFAB.
Okay,
You
kind
know
of
what?
like a spokesperson for them.
A little bit more of a mouthpiece, because we all know that Jade's not exactly strong at talking on the microphone, and Naomi has charisma, but she's not really a promo girl either.
No. And
Kind of the same for
Bianca is
Hit or miss.
hit or miss. I would personally, I'm going down into NXT, I'd pluck her from Metaphor. I'm adding Lash Legend.
That is another one, yeah. But then again, a while ago you did say that Lash Legend was kind of WWE's ode to Jade
Yes,
Cargill.
yes. While Jade was still part of AEW, I felt like Lash was their answer to Jade. After a year or so, I can no longer make that statement.
No, you cannot.
Because now they both work for the same company. But I also stated that Jade was was Tony Khan's answer for Bianca, so.
True. Alright, take us into our next match, Brother Pyro.
Alright, our next match. IC title on the line. Gunther versus Sammy. I'm not gonna lie, the build to this match has not been the greatest.
No.
Sucked, pretty much, yeah.
Yes, it's
Absolutely
been
terrible.
However, with the ability that these in-ring performers have, it is going to be one hell of a match.
It's going to be a chop fest.
Oh, because let's be real, have either one of these men, in the time that you have known them, ever really put on a bad match?
No. No, they have not.
I was saying, you've been watching Sammy at least for a lot longer.
I've been watching Sammy a very long time. The man delivers almost on a very, very regular basis. I mean, the closest I could say to him having a bad match, maybe Bobby Lashley.
And even then, he carried that match very well. Because let's be real, he carried that match.
He did, but now I'm just reminded of Bobby Lashley's sisters, and I think I need to go into therapy.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Lord. Take us into our predictions.
All right. The majority of us pick Gunther to retain the title, with Cauldron and Hex taking Sammy. Let me pluck your brain a little bit here, Miss Thang. Why Sammy?
I'm sick of Gunther. He's boring.
Okay.
He's boring. I don't feel like
Oh, he's outgrown that IC title, and I've been saying
Way
that
outgrown
since
it.
I've been saying that since this time last year.
True. Yep.
I love Sammy, but he is not the right person to dethrone Gunther, though.
No, and also with them going into Europe very, very soon, you need Gunther to have that title.
We're gonna stick a pin in that because Gunther is still having some visa issues.
Oh, true.
So there's no guarantee that Gunther makes it to any of the 3 European shows that we have coming up.
Fair point.
Because we have Backlash in France.
Yes.
We have in June Clash at the Castle in Scotland, and then I believe beginning August Bash in Berlin.
Yes, we do. All right. Our next match up. Desario, take us into it.
All right, we got the 6-pack tag team title ladder match. I love the way they actually introduced all the teams into this whole thing, having to earn their way, especially the format that they did on SmackDown with the different.
Was it with being the tournament?
Yep, with the tournament. It really sit there and, emphasized a lot of importance for the tag team titles and highlighted a bunch of people that you normally don't see every single week on programming.
Mm-hmm.
And I love it.
Yeah, and so...
I love that they did the same thing going into NXT, but we'll talk about that when we get to that show.
Yes.
And so the teams that ended up qualifying outside of our tag team champions, the Judgment Day, you have DIY, The Awesome Truth, A-Town, Down Under. That is a mouthful to say no matter what.
Yes.
It's almost as annoying to say as they are live on TV.
Facts.
And then you also have the New Catch Republic versus New Day!
Yeah!
Beautiful.
So anyway,
Love it!
moving into the predictions, we are all a little bit all over the board here. We have Flash taking DIY, but I really wanted to go with them myself because I got so much love for Johnny. And
I was torn between 3 in picking mine.
Yep.
Because it was either DIY, Awesome Truth, or New Catch. Like,
Yeah.
it had to be one of those 3 to make sense.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Then we have Pyro, Twisted, and Cauldron all going with the New Catch Republic, whereas myself and Hex are going with The Awesome Truth.
Gee, I wonder why Desario picked Awesome Truth.
Okay, yep. We already know that I am the big Miz fanboy.
You are the biggest Miz Mark I have ever met in my life.
He has been my boy since he came in. I personally feel they also should have had a tag team title reign back in the day, 10 years ago, when they were teaming with each other, because, man,
they were on fire at
they
that time.
were so great at being hated, and everything was on them.
And now we get them as a babyface team.
Exactly. And so...
I will say it would also make sense with the storyline that Truth has with Judgment Day for him to walk out with. Which is why, again, I was so torn between the 3.
Yeah. I know where you're going with that. So, Twisted, get me into New Catch Republic. What was your mindset on that one?
I think that it's time that Pete Dunne finally has a title on the main roster. And Tyler Bate has proven time and time again that he is that boy that can do it.
I just hate that they keep calling him that big strong boy almost every single week on TV.
I was watching last week's SmackDown the other day, and I love how Graves and Barrett both say they acknowledged him in the way that they used to acknowledge Cesaro. And they quoted, pound for pound, one of the strongest people on the roster. And honestly, I can't be mad at that because He's one of the smallest, but he is throwing around grown men like they ain't nothing.
Yep.
And do we know why Flash went with DIY?
He loves Johnny.
Fair
Johnny's his boy. Totally.
I just wish DIY was a little more over on the main roster.
I agree.
It's going to be a slow build with them, unfortunately.
And I'm okay with that. Because if you do it the right way... You and I both know from watching wrestling as long as we have. You do the right build, slow or not, good things happen.
Yeah, and it took Johnny a little bit of time to get over in NXT at first as
Yes.
well. So I mean, he is one of those ones that he has to be featured, and you have to slowly get the crowd moving on to the side. You can't throw him right into the fire and expect fans to go yay.
True. All right. Our next match on the card is brother versus brother, Jay versus Jimmy Uso.
Yeet!
This is the third time or the second time? Because I remember seeing.
This is now the third
This
time.
is the third time.
I want to point out that each one is 15 years apart.
Yes. We had Brett versus Owen.
Mania 10.
We had
Matt versus
Jeff.
25.
And now we have Jay versus Jimmy. And if you count them as brothers, we've had the Brothers of Destruction going against each other, which is why I counted as 4. Like 3.5. In a way.
3.
3.5. I will go.
Although all of Hogan's main events, he kept calling everybody brother in that one.
Oh Lord, we ain't talking about Hogan.
Listen here, brother.
Well, then at that point, it's happened well over half the league. Yeah, at this point. I'm just saying.
Jumping into our predictions, we are unanimous. We are all on Team Yeet.
Yeet!
No.
No. Sorry, I'm not joining the
Come
party.
on.
But all of us obviously see Jay as the bigger name. You have said it time and time again. It is the Hardy effect.
Jay is equivalent to Jeff, where he is significantly more over, more beloved by the crowd. He's going to be the bigger single star.
He will be.
Jimmy is
Matt.
equivalent to Matt, where he's going to be upper mid-card pretty much his entire career. He's going to have a solid fan base, but he's never going to be able to, he's never going to be in a position where the big one
Comes to him.
But to kind of piggyback on that one a little bit, I know where you're kind of going with like the differences between the two brothers, but I would say, and also this comparison too, Jay is significantly better in-ring worker than Jimmy is at this point as well, and also has more charisma with everything.
True.
Yeah, and again, Matt and Jeff, like if you really break down their body of work,
Matt was the better wrestler.
Matt was the better wrestler, but who was more entertaining to watch?
Yeah, Jeff had more charisma, 100%.
110. All right, Desario, take us into our next match.
Okay, in the never-ending battle from down under that has been brought up to us, we have Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee from the LWO taking on Dominic and Santos Escobar.
I have a lot to say about this match.
We'll get into that one in just a moment. Let's go through the predictions first, and then we can kind of dive right into there. Going with Dom and Santos is Pyro, Flash, myself, and Hex, whereas Twisted and Cauldron went with Ray and Dragon Lee. Wow, Pyro, you just gave her the side eye on that one.
Yes.
It's not often that we disagree. I need to know what's going on up here in La Cabeza.
I don't think this is the time. I don't think this is the win that you give Dom over his dad. I think if you're going to give Dom the win over his dad, it needs to be one-on-one. It's the passing of the torch. And I think that would be a better call. Whether it be at a Mania, whether it be at another Big Four, I think that's the call that you make is one-on-one between them. And that's where it ends. That's where Ray retires. That's the end of it.
See, I don't think Dom is the one that picks up the win in this match. I think it's going to be Santos. But I think that way you have a reason to keep it going as well.
I mean, it's still Dom's team, but that's just kind of where my brain is.
I also just feel like this tag team match should have just been faction versus faction. Because that's really what y'all started to build towards from the get-go and then kind of just dropped the ball.
It does seem kind of wrong that Carlito's not involved in this match at all. It really does. But Hex, what are your thoughts on this match?
This one I kind of struggled with. But ultimately, I just think Dom and Santos are the stronger of the tags.
All right. Now, Hex, why don't you jump us right into the next match?
Alright, the next match is for the Women's World Heavyweight title, and it is between Rhea Ripley and Becky Lynch, with almost all of us unanimously picking Becky Lynch, except for Flash, who chose Rhea Ripley.
Is that really a surprise?
No, it's the butt.
It's the butt and everything in between.
He
But I know
must have
Flash.
really liked that sick face he gave to Nia Jax.
I will 100% watching clips on Twitter, because I will never call it for what it actually is. I love that Shayna Baszler got in the ring asking Rhea for a stink face and was massively disappointed when it ended up being Nia.
Yeah.
I laughed so hard watching
But
that.
speaking of Shayna, real quick, congratulations to her for winning her Bloodsport GCW debut. Solid showing. If y'all haven't watched it, please go ahead. I do love that WWE has been letting, outside their talent work outside, because you got to see Zoe Stark accompany Shayna to the ring. In the crowd, you had Punk, you had Sonya, you had Braun, you had Karrion. Like, you had a plethora of superstars in that crowd there to cheer on Shayna.
And I like the fact that they brought out Charlie Dempsey with everything
Yep,
as well.
Charlie Dempsey also had a match. I believe he won that match as well. So congratulations to him for that.
Yeah, he's really starting to get basically travel all over the world for everything, because he was also in All Japan.
He's really getting his footing in the wrestling world. Regal, you are doing a great job. Just wanted to throw out that tidbit since we kind of...
We jump between both and
Yes.
everything else.
All this came out of a stink face. Go figure.
All this
But,
came
like,
from Flash choosing Rhea. All right.
I'm definitely excited to see how many more partnerships we can get out of WWE. Thank you, Triple H.
All right. Speaking of WWE, take us into our main event of Night 1, Brother Pyro.
Main event, Night 1, tag team match. Bloodline members, Roman Reigns and The Rock. Put that finger down, Desario.
Unless you're
My
doing
tribal
an L.
chief.
Unless you're doing an L.
But you have
Like The
the
Rock does.
undisputed WWE Universal Champion and the final boss teaming up against your World Heavyweight Champion, Seth freaking Rollins, and Royal Rumble winner, the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. A lot on the line for this one.
Tell us about the stipulations we got.
I was just getting there. Stipulation being, if Rollins and Rhodes win, the match for the Universal title, one-on-one, no interference from anybody, straight down the middle, here we go. However, if the Bloodline picks up the win here, that match becomes Bloodline rules, anything goes, so you know there's going to be a lot of interference. So going into our predictions, we're pretty evenly split with the exception of Miss Hex, who is undecided. Before I get into the rest of these predictions, why?
Too many factors. There's been too many rumors of turning. Is there other people gonna factor into this? Like, there's just too much questions in my head to make a definitive answer.
But alright, so myself, Desario, and Cauldron picking the Bloodline to walk out of this, whereas you and Flash have chosen Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes. Now, before I explain why I chose the Bloodline, you care to explain why you and Flash?
Well, Flash is a no-brainer. He loves Cody.
What?
Yes, loves his woe. I just think that, going into night 2, we need it down the middle. We need no interference. We need to see if the tribal chief, quote unquote, can really pick up that big win, no interference.
Oh.
It has been the longest time since he's been able to do it. And if you really want to solidify, I know Desario said this even last year, if you really want to solidify yourself As the big man on campus, you need to win the big one without any help. And last year, he got help.
I said it going into Mania last year. I said it going into Clash at the Castle. I said it going into Rumble earlier this year.
We've all said it.
Bully Ray has stated it on Busted Open I don't know how many times at this point.
At this point, I think Cody and Rollins win. You can, if you're going to do a turning factor, have Rollins do it afterwards if you really want to go that route. You know, that way Cody's going and busted up night 2, but still, you make Cody and Seth win this so that it's down the middle.
Listen, I love Cody. I love Seth. But the best story to go into night 2 is for the Bloodline to win this match. It is the thing that they're going to add the most drama. It's the thing that's going to have more layers and more storytelling to it. And to kind of piggyback from what Hex was saying, you hear all these rumors about possible turns and people showing up and people doing this. It's all going to start with the Bloodline winning night 1. Because you want to create that sense, create that drama, and really get people hooked in going to really follow their white meat babyface Cody into the main event.
So I'm going to piggyback off of that for a quick second. What has WWE been trying to build for the last year and a half or so? Rock versus Roman.
Mm-hmm.
Bloodline rules going into that match. You get the Bloodline to interfere. This is where you pull that trigger. You really start building that story of Rock versus Roman. Rock, you cost me my title.
Mm-hmm.
His interference cost Roman the title. And this is all for the head of the table. You don't necessarily need that WWE title on the line. Plus, if Cody doesn't, for the love of God, if Cody does not finish the story this year, and it needs to be night 2 of Mania, you have wasted everybody's time because nobody's going to care if it happens at SummerSlam, if it happens next year, whatever. Cody finishes his story this year, or you move the fuck on.
Agreed. Alright, after our night 1 of Mania, we are going to now talk about the Hall of Fame, the inductees. Starting us off, we have the one that is headlining everything. We have Mr. Paul Heyman. Desario and Pyro will both take us into that.
Why don't you lead us off, buddy?
This is the only inductee that I wanted this year because you give us WrestleMania in Philly. Desario, what came out of Philly thanks to Paul Heyman?
The 3 most infamous letters in wrestling history, ECW.
Now, mind you, if the crowd does not overwhelm him with ECW chants, crowd, you are a waste of space.
Oh, absolutely. But the story with Paul Heyman goes a little bit deeper than just that. He also was in WCW as a manager with the Dangerous Alliance, helping to cultivate such superstars like Ravishing Rick Rude, an up-and-coming, stunning Steve Austin, and also had a great feud with Jim Cornette with the Midnight Express and the new Midnight Express. It kind of bowled a lot of things there. After he got fired there is when he started ECW, and then parlays into the WWE after ECW went out of business.
Now, going into the person inducting him, because I feel like it was the wrong... it makes sense from what he's doing today, but I also feel like, again, you're giving me ECW in Philly. What you and I have talked about this. It should have been Dreamer, it should have been Bully, or it should have been Bandit. Taz.
It could have been any of those guys, and I also think that maybe what they were trying to do was maybe Brock, but then all the stuff
Everything
happened.
with Brock...
Yeah, then everything happened and he's all
I'm really glad it's not Brock, because I as much as I love Brock...
Oh, he can't talk.
He can't talk worth a damn.
But if you give him a few months to write a speech, he might be able to.
So, Roman Reigns is inducting Hayden. And again, I can't think of a more deserving person this year.
No, especially in Philadelphia. He deserves it. Not only does he deserve it, he earned it with all of his hard work.
I was going to say, let's talk about the champions that he has bred, the people that he has met, advocated for.
Mm-hmm.
Can't even say managed with him anymore. Nope.
Granted, he really did shoot himself in the foot with that argument, because I think it was at some point last year they were on First Take, and they asked him who the top 5 managers in the business were, and he said he was the top 1. So he referred to himself as a manager. I need to point that out there.
Yeah, true.
But
Anywho.
because of him, we got to see Roman go on to be one of the longest reigning champions in all of WWE history and now in the modern era.
And the best version of Roman.
Yes.
Honestly, we've gotten to see him catapult Lesnar to heights that I don't think anybody would have seen in him coming out of OVW.
Nope. He also sit there and cultivated CM Punk from the time he was in developmental, even brought up to the main roster.
I was getting there. We got Curtis Axel as IC champion. The most relevant Curtis Axel ever was on the roster was as a Paul Heyman guy.
I can argue that a little bit. B team.
As an individual competitor.
Okay, now that's a little bit different.
I'm going to specify because I forgot about the B team for a second.
Or there was also Axelmania.
Axelmania, but that wasn't under the Heyman regime.
No, it wasn't.
There was also the time where Curtis Axel was the longest person in the Royal Rumble match.
Yep.
Again, also not a Heyman thing, but that would have been great.
We're diverging a little bit on that one.
Anyways,
But no,
get back into our line.
He's managed Cesaro, Ryback. There is a plethora of really great talent to come out of the Paul Heyman wing in pro wrestling, and again, we alluded to it earlier. Stone Cold. Stone Cold doesn't happen without Heyman.
Yep.
Even if it was that time in WCW, he does not happen if he's not aligned with Heyman.
Exactly.
So, thank you, Heyman, in that aspect.
Okay. Jumping into the next Hall of Fame inductee, Desario, we will need your help a little bit on the name, if you would please.
Oh, that would be Bull Nakano.
Alright, and then Hex, take us into this.
Bull Nakano started wrestling in All Japan Pro Wrestling as a teenager and held several of AJW singles and tag team championships. Wow. After being phased out by the company in the early 90s, she traveled to North America, where she first competed in Mexico's CMLL, becoming its first women's world champion. In 1994, she made her way to WWE back when it was formerly WWF, where she had feuded with Alundra Blaze over the WWF Women's World Championship. After holding the title once, she also competed in WCW before stepping away from the ring and becoming a professional golfer.
Absolutely. And now she will be inducted into the 2024 Hall of Fame. Our next inductees are the U.S. Express, and Desario will take us through that one.
The U.S. Express, a very underrated and underappreciated tag team from back in the day. Actually, when PWI back in 2003 decided to do their list of 100 greatest tag teams of all time, they came in at number 48 at that point in time, which is actually a pretty strong showing, especially at that point.
Yes.
You have the two competitors. You have Barry Windham and Mike Rotunda, although during this run, WWE kept calling him Rotundo for some strange reason. It is what it is. But a couple of very good footnotes for them. They were in the very first Wrestlemania where they dropped the tag team titles to Nikolai Volkov and the Iron Sheik.
Okay.
They did regain the titles back a few months later in June, so they were a two-time WWF Tag Team Champions, which is no small feat back in that era, because if you had a title, you were holding that baby for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 months at a time. You had long reigns, so you can be more than a one-time. That just shows the confidence that they had in them. Barry Windham would go on to other things as well. He became one of the members of the second incarnation of the Four Horsemen and ended up having a lot of great times with them. And then Mike Rotunda ended up going back to WCW, came back to WWE as IRS, had a couple of kids along the way. You may have heard of them, Bo Dallas, and also Wyndham Rotunda, a.k.a. Bray Wyatt. Rest in peace, one of our favorites of all time. So their legacy is always going to keep carrying on in the professional wrestling business.
Yes. All right. Next inductee will be in the celebrity wing, Muhammad Ali. Brother Pyro, you will take us into that one.
More known for his feats in the boxing ring. He was also an avid civil rights leader. He was at the first Mania,
Yep, he was a special guest referee at the first WrestleMania.
which great on them. There was his part in the Collision in Korea, where he battled Antonio Inoki, R.I.P. to another wrestling legend. He's pretty much done it all, deemed one of the greatest to ever step foot in a boxing ring, and I mean with a record of 56 wins, 37 of which coming by knockout, and 5 losses. It's hard not to deem that. Multiple championships over the reign of his career, and he is another one with a legacy that will carry on in his daughter Layla.
All right, going into our next inductee, we have Thunderbolt Patterson, which Desario will also take us through.
Wow, you're giving me all the old guys. What are you guys telling me over here?
You are the most knowledgeable.
Oh, I know.
You have the most wisdom.
Wow, tell that to my wife about no.
I was gonna say.
Anyway.
I have disputed this with your wife.
So, with Thunderbolt Patterson, he's a very important figure. While he's not really thought of like Bobo Brazil, or even maybe JYD, being like at the forefront as an African-American professional wrestler, he came up in the 60s with his style of wrestling. Wrestled in a bunch of different territories, predominantly down south, like in Georgia Championship, Florida Championship Wrestling. He was actually in NWA for a little bit before getting blacklisted from the company because he was wrestling for outlaw promotions. Outlaw promotions being stuff outside of the NWA. So he was one of the first wrestlers to actually get blacklisted from the entire company.
Okay.
He also tried to sit there, was one of the first people to try to unionize professional wrestlers. Once again, not ingraining into a lot of the promoters that are out there at that point in time, but he did leave an impact almost everywhere he went. Multiple time tag team champions in a lot of different companies he was in, including some of his most notable partners, Ole Anderson, and also Mr. USA, Tony Atlas in Florida. And actually it was his association with Ole that helped with the formation of the Four Horsemen, because Arn Anderson got brought in as Ole's kayfabe brother a few months after they won the tag titles, and Ole's like, I can't win with these garbage people like Patterson, I'm bringing in my brother, and they kicked him out and started up getting the Minnesota Wrecking Crew to the Four Horsemen.
All right, thank you.
The more you know.
And our last inductee, we have Leah Mavia, Maivia. Sorry, it's the way it's written that my brain goes to that. Born Ophelia Maivia, she was a professional Samoan professional wrestling promoter. Maivia was the wife of Samoan professional wrestler Peter Maivia and the grandmother of The Rock, or as we are now referring to him as the final boss.
Her husband has been inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. He was class of 2008.
All right. Leah took over Polynesian Pro Wrestling, a territory of the National Wrestling Alliance in Hawaii following the death of her husband in 1982. She became one of the wrestling's first female promoters. In the mid-1980s, her promotion ran a show called Polynesian Pacific Pro Wrestling on the Financial News Network. Her biggest card, A Hot Summer Night, occurred on August 3rd, 1985, and had a crowd of 20,000 people. And back in that day, that was pretty big. Unfortunately, her show the following year, A Hot Summer Night 2, did not do as well, and the promotion began to decline, closing in 1988. That is your Hall of Fame class of 2024, and we will get started on...
Sorry, Desario looked like he had something he wanted to add to that.
Well, with her as well, she, helped basically was, the matriarch of the whole Samoan dynasty that we are seeing at this point in time right now. She ended up helping to get, the Usos really going through. And actually, Rikishi basically called her Nana at the very point in time at all points.
Are we gonna forget about the Wild Samoans that
helped
carry her territory?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Wild Samoans definitely did as well, but the Wild Samoans were spending more time in New York than they were in Hawaii around that point in time. They did come through to sit there and help out whenever it did.
They did a lot for that promotion, though.
They did.
Because they will, if you've ever sat down and watched an interview, they credit a lot of their success to Leah and that promotion.
Oh yeah, and almost every Samoan wrestler basically thanks her almost right away. They go, Leah and then Peter. It goes one A, one B basically.
All right.
And then everybody else kind of falls into place.
Pretty much.
Well, jumping into night 2, starting off, we have the Pride versus the Final Testament in a Philly Street fight. Now, a majority of us, Pyro, myself, Flash, and Desario have chosen the Pride, whereas Cauldron and Hex have chosen the Final Testament. Hex, your reasoning on choosing that and going against the Pride?
I basically went off of who was doing better for this one because I honestly, they're so strong. Just each individual team of men are so strong. So,
all right, and Brother Pyro, you look like you want to say something, so why don't you give us your reasoning for choosing the Pride?
I picked the Pride because they're a lot more over with the crowd right now. Mm-hmm. They're booked a lot better, and I'm sorry, but like, correct me if I'm wrong. Since his return, they haven't been able to get Karrion Kross over no matter what they've given him, including this new Final Testament, which was a great concept on paper, but the execution has been
terrible.
Absolute piss poor hot dog water.
Okay.
I'd love to see something better come out of Karrion Kross.
I would too, especially because, again, watching him for as long as I have, he is phenomenal in ring. He can really bring a character to life. Mm-hmm. They are not booking him or this group in the right light. And honestly, at this point, you've been trying for well over a year. You can separate them. And honestly, I think it might be time to either send him back to Kross specifically, back to NXT, or you got to give him the axe again.
Yeah, I'm not.
Because, like, nobody's buying it at this point.
They're discount Judgment Day right now.
And it's not fair to them, because all of them are phenomenal talents. Mm-hmm. AOP would have probably, especially during that pandemic, would have ran rampant over the tag team division with how small it was, especially, had it not been for injuries. Mm-hmm. And I think, honestly, they could all use some work done in NXT just to get their footing back under them.
I agree. All right, jumping into our next match. Hex, you have that one.
This next match is for the U.S. Championship, and it's between Logan Paul, Kevin Owens, and Randy Orton. Overwhelmingly, it seems Kevin Owens is the majority of the vote, with Twisted, wrong person.
You're all good.
Flash choosing Logan Paul, and Randy Orton being the final vote.
Of Desario. All right, Desario, your reasoning on choosing Randy on this?
Well, with him just coming back, I think you sit there, acknowledge all the hard work that he sit there and put in to come back. A lot of the stories he's been telling since he's been back. I mean, because you can't say that at Elimination Chamber.
Oh, he hasn't done so. He's done absolutely exquisite work.
Exactly.
Upon his return.
He's been doing great. Logan Paul, as great of a, representative of the championship. I'm not going to sit there and say great champion because he doesn't really defend it all that much because of his social media and also outside appearances. I understand that. But he has carried himself.
He's bringing eyes to this product.
And he's bringing eyes to the product. But he's going to drop the title since even though he's trying to be full-time, he's not really full-time. You need that belt to be a little bit more prominent. And Kevin Owens, as I've said in the past, he is in the Seth Rollins role right now. He can go out there, tell a great story, but you're going to be this close.
Win or lose, it's not like it's going to hurt his career.
Exactly. But you throw Randy the bone and you let Randy, carry that title on SmackDown.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Brother Pyro, your absolute love is our next match on the card.
Yes! A battle of two eras of a different promotion.
Errors or eras?
Eras.
Well, you had an error there.
Delete.
What I deem the battle of TNA versus Impact. Original TNA. Because they've kind of rebranded and gone back to that. AJ Styles takes on LA Knight.
Yeah.
Thank you, Hex.
You're welcome.
Hey, thank you. Oh my god, I am excited for this match beyond... I think I am the most excited for this match because backtracking, this is the first time their paths have been able to really cross. It's become a really heated and personal rivalry as well. Oh, need to make your smell. So, going into our predictions, Me and you, Miss Twisted, have AJ Styles while the rest of the field picked LA Knight.
Big brother, you are mistaken.
Oh, I am. It's me and Desario with Styles.
About to say, hold on a second.
My bad. It's myself and Desario with Styles with everybody else picking LA Knight.
Yeah.
So who wants to let me pick the brain first? Since there's two of you in this room that have opposed me.
If I only had a brain.
I think I can speak for Hex on this one, kind of agreeing with myself, where LA Knight is just kind of the one that's a bit more over. It's the one that's kind of caught our eye a bit more, and just kind of the bigger, not necessarily name here, but the bigger pop with the crowd.
He's been a big pop lately. It's just he hasn't gotten his moment.
The spotlight.
I think it's about time he has his moment.
Yeah.
And I can understand that. I can see that. And I did kind of go back and forth a little bit on this one right here because LA Knight could use a good shine from AJ Styles. Because AJ can sit there and take a fall, not have it hurt his credibility whatsoever. However, AJ, just like LA Knight, hasn't really been given much of anything since he's come back. Plus, I want him to get at least one more world title run in before he calls it a day. And this is going to sit there and help by beating LA Knight to get him put back on that track.
Okay. And I'm thinking you're thinking the same thing.
Just piggybacking off of him, I think Styles could really use the bone just a little more than LA Knight right now.
Okay. All right, going into our next match, we have the WWE Women's Championship, Io Sky versus Bayley. Now, this does go back a while. When Bayley did come back, I want to say it was SummerSlam of last year. Was it last year or was
22.
it the year before? It was 22, okay. SummerSlam of 22, where she brought back Dakota Kai, who had been previously released, and Io Sky being
under contract.
And Io Sky being brought up from NXT. The faction of Damage Control would run wild in the women's division for a long time, till recently, Bayley winning the Royal Rumble. They kind of stabbed her in the back afterwards. This was, you had said it, what was the storyline kind of from Brother Pyro?
Evolution. Mm-hmm. This was literally Evolution, a decade or two ago?
Similar, except in that situation, Triple H was the champ and Batista was the underling. In this one, the underling was the champ, and they're trying to take out the top guy. But, roles reversed, very similar.
I was going to say, it's pretty much copy-paste, same story.
Yeah.
Not the first time we've seen them reuse a storyline.
But
Jimmy J, versus, and,
the other brothers,
yeah.
yes.
The brother storyline, and a few years ago, the Kofi Mania, which really was just a copy-paste of
Yesomania. That is true.
If they're going to really copy storylines, they really need to bring back the dog food angle.
Oh my lord.
I will hurt you.
Anywho, going back into this, now that Bayley has won the championship and she knew that the girls were turning on her, she pointed her eyes and her sights to Io Sky's championship. A majority of us, aside from Desario,
What a surprise.
have all chosen Bayley to now become women's champion yet again. And your reasoning for Io?
I went back and forth, actually, on this one.
Okay.
I could have gone either way, but
Same.
I'm thinking that Io needs it just a little bit more because, yeah, her reign has been garbage. Her reign has sucked. You can't name one memorable thing that's happened during her reign.
Which is exactly why I chose
Kind of like
Bayley.
the beginning of Rhea Ripley's reign.
Yes. And now,
But now
they
we're
were
just
able to get the ball rolling, and I'm sorry, but Women's World Champion, Rhea Ripley is where it is at.
Yeah, but I think Io needs it a little bit more. Just a little bit.
See, and I'm going to go with, because again, I also flip-flopped, but with that being said, I'm going to kind of piggyback and use your own argument against you. This is why I feel like Bayley should be the one to take it off. Give Io just a little bit more polish before trying the championship on her again. Because it was great. It worked really great in NXT, but we got to remember not everything that worked well in NXT is going to translate well to the main roster.
No, because even though NXT gets some mainstream viewers, it's more hardcore wrestling fans.
And please remember this.
I love NXT.
Io cannot speak.
Yes.
The language barrier is a big detriment to her career right now, which is why she's in the group that she's in, with Dakota being the mouthpiece, essentially.
Which is why I'm glad they left Dakota in the group as the mouthpiece for that one.
Oh, no, because at that point it would have been 3 women that barely know any English, and that group would have crumbled.
All you would have heard is nobody is ready for damage control. Because that's all they can literally say.
But that is why I think Bayley takes it off. You keep the story going a little bit, but this way you also can give Io that shine, that little bit of extra polish that she needs before she is truly ready to hold a title on the main roster.
Alright. Going into our next match, Desario.
Alright, so a match I'm very, very excited for, especially on several different levels, especially because of the ascension of a new refresh of a character, so to speak. Mm-hmm. You have Seth freaking Rollins defending the World Heavyweight Championship against Drew McIntyre. The ultimate troll on Twitter right now, which is his Twitter game has been on point.
Oh, it has been fire, but
hilarious.
But I'm gonna say it this way: how many more title matches? How many more chances is that man going to get? We broke this down last pay-per-view.
Yeah.
That man has probably faced for the world title more than anybody else active on the current roster.
No, and
I'm gonna quote Kevin Owens to
Dolph Ziggler.
The whole "it should have been me." No, it should have been you maybe 4 years ago, and it kind of was. It should have been you a decade ago. It was you kind of 4 years ago for a little bit. It is no longer you. It is not going to be you again. Shut up. Leave it alone. Go away. Get out of the picture. You're holding up the line.
But you also have to remember this match got put together because of the whole CM Punk injury. Because otherwise we would have had Punk versus Seth.
I know, but still. Why must it be Drew?
And we still also get Punk in this match as a special guest commentator, which is going to be hilarious just listening to him with this whole match going.
Can I point the way that they got into that, by the way, was chef's kiss.
That was
one of the best.
That was probably one
incredible.
of the best segments I have ever watched on WWE TV.
2 of the best parts of that segment. Referee, he can't even count with that arm. Slap.
And then he gets down and counts the 1, 2. Like I can do this.
Be objective.
Yep.
But there was no way he was going to be objective.
And then the other great part from that whole segment too. You're the chosen one? Who chose you? Say his name! And you're just standing there with a look like, PG, brother, come on. I know that came a little bit later on.
But still, he's giving him that look like, I cannot
I can't say this. But anyways, going on into the predictions right here. It is nearly unanimous. One person is an outlier. For once, it's not me. Hallelujah. So,
beautiful.
Everybody is going with Drew McIntyre in this one. Flash is going with Seth Rollins.
You want to give me an insight on your husband's brain?
He doesn't want it to be Drew. And I told him, Seth needs the time off, but he does not want it to be Drew.
Nobody wants it to be Drew at this point. We're tired of Drew.
I want it to be
get
Drew.
the title of the Crybaby.
Exactly. Okay, you want it to be Drew. I genuinely do not want it to be Drew. I can just only seeing it make sense. So that way you shut him up. You give Seth Rollins his much needed time off. Hell, at the end of this, can I please
Get a cash in?
get Damian Priest to cash it? Give it to him, and then he drops it almost immediately anyway, but please, just so long as it's not Drew.
Puerto Rican Razor Ramon is not going to get that title.
Oh my god. Anywho.
You know what? You did this.
I did do this. It's okay. Brother Pyro, would you join me on speaking about our main event for night 2? WWE Undisputed Universal Champion Roman Reigns takes on the American Nightmare,
Cody Rhodes.
In this one, almost all of us are Cody. Or the
Except
odd
for
man
that
out
one.
is Desario.
Acknowledge our tribal chief.
No!
No.
I will cut off your finger.
Tribal queef. Got it.
Do something acknowledgeable and I'll acknowledge him.
True. Desario?
Hey, his last title match he had, he won cleanly.
No, he didn't.
Royal Rumble?
He did not win. Solo got involved.
Yes.
Semantic. I didn't see him there.
Semantics.
Solo got involved, like...
Solo's like John Cena. I can't see him.
Speaking of Solo and John Cena, let's talk about how that man has lost 35 matches in a row since beating John Cena.
It's the Austin Theory complex.
Yeah, pretty much.
But Cena gave both of them the warning that win or lose, you're screwed without me.
You don't recover.
You don't recover facing me.
No.
And they haven't.
But also, a lot of people haven't recovered after facing Roman right there. They get shuttered back down to the card, and Cody, as much as I want him to finish the story, Chuck, that, no, I don't. I don't want him to finish the story.
It has been 2 years. Please let him finish
There's
this
a better
story.
spot for it to be finished, and I know you know where I'm going with this, because Bully has said it numerous times. They have the show at Madison Square Garden.
No.
You have Cody take the belt off him there, in the same building that Dusty had it.
I'm going to tell you right now, I love Bully Ray, and I have actually tried to tweet and call to explain. If he doesn't finish the story here, nobody else is going to give a shit. Not a soul is going to care about Cody's story, fan base wise. You pull the trigger here, or you scrap it all together.
Cool, then we get Stardust back. I love it.
Oh,
Oh, please, no.
At that point, Cody, please, I know you just re-signed, but
Leave.
yo, be like, alright, I want out. Granted,
he didn't like Stardust. He's not doing it again.
Oh no, the terms and condition of his return were that character was to never return.
Who can see, and I don't know if it is a possibility, that Goldust comes back to help his brother.
They've been teasing it a lot.
If they do win night one, if Roman and Rock win night one, and we get bloodline rules, do you see Dustin coming?
I can see Dustin coming, but I think there was a little bit more foreshadowing with Rock's beatdown with Cody, with the two people on the trailer that were behind him,
Cena and
Stone Cold, kind of overseeing it because
his
those
two biggest rivals.
Yes.
But also they have been teasing it on the Twitter sphere quite a lot with Dustin.
Oh, I know.
So we see all three.
My only thing is this. You would need Tony Khan to sign off. And I know that's where you were going.
She was shaking her head. I was going to say...
Crybaby Khan won't let it happen.
No matter how good it would be for his product, you know it's not going to happen.
He cries almost as much as Drew does.
I would love it to happen, but again, we know. But I do see the Rock and the Stone Cold bit, because that would be absolutely beautiful to come and save.
From what I hear, neither Stone Cold nor Cena, they have both confirmed.
They have
nothing going on this weekend.
Except for maybe a nice trip to Philly.
They are both very much free this weekend. So you give me Bloodline rules, there you go to even the odds.
And John Cena.
I give you them to even the odds.
Alright, and that concludes our WrestleMania podcast. I would like to thank you, Hex, for coming on. And I would like to thank you, Desario, for as well coming on.
No problem.
Being our big spokesperson as you are. Brother Pyro, anything else to say before we leave the people?
Enjoy the weekend, enjoy the show. I know I'm looking forward to it.
The holiday season of WrestleMania.
It is the greatest holiday season ever. And before we sign off, I need to do something.
And that is?
It is a special member of our Wrestling Crossroad family's birthday.
It is.
Baby Crossroads is officially a year old.
Cute little one.
So, our fans out there, please take to the socials and wish him a very happy first birthday and a happy first WrestleMania season to him.
Yes.
Yay, Baby Crossroads.
Happy birthday.
Alright, guys, we are out.